fingers crossed the angle's right. I'm having a bad skin day and a bad hair day, so please do not perceive me. Hi, I'm Theo Blanco, you can call me Theo, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, or welcome to it if you didn't see my first video. But this is my second video on this channel, and we're doing something a little bit different today. Everybody who knows me knows I can get a little bit defensive about the things that I like, and I thought maybe, since I noticed this was a trend across YouTube now, to get a little bit better about, hearing negative things about some of my favourite things, I thought I'd read some 1-star reviews of my favourite books. I'm reading them on my insanely battered old iPad, so fingers crossed I can read it properly because my iPad literally has a hole in it. Starting off strong, I thought we'd start with The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. I'm using Goodreads for these reviews and it currently has an average 3.88 rating on Goodreads. So nervous to read some of the 1-star reviews because I love this book so much, and like I said, I can get a little bit defensive about the things that I like. So you're not going to see me arguing with people on the internet over this, but a lot of these reviews are very long. So not only did people not like it, but they had a lot to say about not liking it. What an absolute load of twaddle. That a new favourite word. Once again, I was taken in by the glowing reviews, but the truth is total opposite. Quite simply, it's boring. And then in full caps, do not bother. This one is just a meme. 1 star, Bugs Bunny, no meme. Theo editing, I'm so sorry. Body swerve this book if you like a good murder mystery, as this will surely disappoint. The plot is risible. The characters are dull. The explanation of who murdered who, when it comes, is so messy and confused that I had completely given up caring. I expected a clever and witty story from Richard Osman, but sadly, this was not it. I don't know why I kind of went into a really bad American accent there. See, I will say, obviously, when it comes to celebrity books, which I might do a video on at some point, sometimes they're ghostwritten, sometimes they're written by the author, and they can be quite hit and miss when it comes to celebrity written books. Some people go into it knowing who the author is purely because they're a fan of that celebrity. Personally, while I do like Richard Osman, I didn't go into it because Richard Osman wrote it. I went into it because I heard good things about it. And I think I read it. No, I did. I read it when it first came out. I think I might have been bought it for Christmas by my great-grandma, I think. Shout out to Chocolate Grandma. Yes, that is what I called her all of my childhood. And I still call her that now. But that's a story for a different time. I hate when I can kind of see where they're coming from. But Rima just said, no, not for me. Fell asleep on the train 3 times on 3 separate occasions while reading this. DNF from me, I'm afraid. If the book actually sent you to sleep 3 separate times on trains, first of all, maybe you just find trains weirdly relaxing. And Lottie, maybe just go to sleep. Find a bed, sleep in it. Thank you. There were unnecessarily many dead bodies that kept showing up all over the place. There was some good dark humour, but it wasn't enough to keep me invested. Look, if you're not here for the dead bodies, then maybe don't read a murder-oriented book. Okay, this person gave it 0.2 out of 5. Old people, plus humour, plus crime, unsatisfied martyr. I hate humorous novels. Okay, maybe don't read a book by a TV presenter then, because 99% of the time there's gonna be humour in it. I hate crime novels. Then don't read a book that literally says murder in the title. Do people pick up books without actually reading what it's about, who it's written by? Do you know, when you go to a book shop, when you go to your local Waterstones, to the Works, if you're in America, Barnes and Noble, wherever you want to go, do you go into that shop, pick up a book based on, I don't know, word of mouth or just by how the cover looks, not even read the blurb, and then just, yeah, I'm going to spend my money on that? There is no greater indictment to this country than the fact that this book has been wildly loved and well received. No greater indictment? Are you sure? This has backstory, and I need to know the backstory behind this. I have nothing to say. I regret trusting Glenn. Who is Glenn? Osman has aptly written a book that is pointless. 1-star reviews of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. From the moment that she said, "Holy pepperoni," I realised I was too old to be reading this book. No, I don't think you are too old, because no one really says holy pepperoni. I fear that you are just allergic to joy and whimsy, to creating your own slang. I fear you are allergic to the nicer things in life. I made a Goodreads account just so I could give this book 1 star. Now, I've got to respect the dedication there, and so would Pip. Pip would also create a Goodreads account just to give a book 1 star. I'm very concerned for this author. It appears they have never met a real human in real life. Pip makes questionable decisions, but I wouldn't say she's that far from real. Like, yeah, there are some parts where you're like, what are you doing? I'm pretty sure Holly Jackson has met a couple of people in her life, at least. School projects are getting really wild these days. Do you think they may be putting too much pressure on kids? This was fun in the same way I imagine waterboarding is. If you like your characters quirky, TM, you will probably have a field day. Like, yeah, I get that. She is quirky, and I liked it. It was fun. If you suffer from severe secondhand embarrassment, this might kill you. TLDR. I went, who killed, redacted again? 2 minutes after finishing it, so thankfully already slipping from memory. Then you've just not read it properly. Because honestly, I would give anything to read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder over again for the first time. Because this does not leave my head. The book, the whole series, especially the first book, all the stuff that happens in it, it does not leave my head. So if you are forgetting who killed someone in it, then you're not reading it properly. Composure. It was so bad, I want to give it a 0. But that's not possible. So I give it a 1. Insert meme here. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. More like a nosy teen's guide to drama with I liked the guy excuse. Wow. Like, I understand just saying it's not for me, but then some of these are just like, hey, it's just pure shit. What book did you read? Even the font was bad. 0 stars. The final revival of Opal and Nev. First of all, Opal and Nev should be fascinating characters. Alas, they are not. Opal especially has the potential to be a memorable badass, but she isn't. I think she is an incredibly memorable badass, because I think about her all the time. My queen, Opal. The way that Opal talked about white people is offensive and shouldn't be allowed. In the 60s, 70s, 80s, that is basically when this book takes place. She was subjected to extreme racism. She was in the public eye as a black woman. It makes sense considering how she was treated. You can see it as offensive. The people that treated her horribly, saying it about them, they kind of deserved it. They were awful. Did someone read Daisy Jones and the Six and think, oh, this is a really fun way to write? Babe, that's like 99% of how books happen. Like, when you think about it with like writing theory and stuff, you can narrow it down to there being like 7 different types of story. So yeah, some of them, especially now, are going to be similar. Authors read other authors' books and think, oh, I like that. I'm going to try and write like that. Good Omens by Sir Terry Pratchett. There's obviously the TV show version, which I adore as much as I like the book, which is very rare for me. I'm expecting a lot of people to have watched the show and then decided to read the book, which I did do. I read the book afterwards, but I knew that it was a bit different. Did I read the same book as everybody else? That's how I feel reading these 1-star reviews. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder, but some beholders are wrong. What a banal, poorly paced, over-padded, tedious, masturbatory exercise in cleverness. Like spending several hours sitting next to an unfunny comedian, oozing smugness out of every pore, spouting tired observational humour, whilst jabbing you in the ribs every couple of sentences. Religion, am I right? Bureaucracy, am I right? Traffic, am I right? Not worth it. I really enjoyed that 1-star review. I'd rate that 1-star review 3 stars. Which, yes, isn't 5 stars. Purely because you've been knocked down 2 stars because you gave it a 1 star. But that was brilliant. I quite enjoyed that. This is hands down the worst book I've read this year. Thank you for the honesty. While I enjoyed the TV show, it was a chore to read the book. About halfway through, my mind started wandering. I didn't pay attention to what was happening in the story, and honestly, I didn't even care. The world and story idea was brilliant, but I was bored as hell. The use of as hell there is quite funny considering what the book's about. But for me, sometimes I get like that because of distractions around me or my ADHD. So maybe try listen to the audiobook, you know? Thinking back to something I said in my last video. Like I said, some people watch the film or watch the TV show of a book and then read the book expecting it to be the exact same, which is never the case. It is never the exact same because you cannot adapt something for screen for it to be the exact same. I've done English A-level looking at storytelling through words. I've also done media, which is visual storytelling. The way that you tell a story visually versus through words is entirely different. I feel like at some point I will do a video comparing TV or film adaptation, like screen adaptations to the books for different books, because I have some thoughts about some of them. I don't get British comedy. I kept waiting for it to get better. I'm still waiting. For the remainder of the video, I thought it'd be really fun to read some 1-star reviews of my childhood favourite books. So Harry Potter now, by no one. The book just appeared out of thin air. No one wrote it, ever. Okay, so this first one. This is a disgrace to all purebloods. My head looked quite dashing on that strange professor's head. If only I could have extended my stay. Harry Potter, this is not over yet. Review by none other than Voldemort himself. This was written in 2009. Pathetic. Really pathetic. Harry Potter is more of a Mary Sue than Eragon. More than Nancy Drew. More than worst fan fiction I've seen. He's rich, popular and famous for absolutely nothing of his own doing. He destroys the power of the big bad guy before he's a year old. He has the whole angsty past down pat. He instantly becomes the best at flying without even ever doing it before, wasting all the older and more experienced flyers. And get this, he fries bad guys when they touch his skin because the power of his mother's love is too amazing that it protects him. Harry Potter is Mary Sue, Gary Stu, Marty Sue, whatever you want to call him. You're a wimp, Harry. If I was, say, 11 years old, I might think this book was worth 3 stars. Now, to summarise Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. A little orphan boy gets bullied by his aunt, uncle, teacher and scrawny blonde kid because his parents are dead. So he and his loser friends go find a rock using sticks and chess. 3 out of 10. In my early tween years, I am both ashamed and unashamed to say that I was a Twilight fan. I have watched the films and I have read the book. Save your time. Here's the entirety of Twilight in 20 dialogue snippets and a wiggity-whack intermission. First 200 pages. I like you, Edward. You shouldn't. I'm dangerous. I like you, Edward, but I'm dangerous. Next 50 pages. I'm a vampire. I like you, Edward, but I'm a vampire. I'm dangerous. I like you, Edward. Next 100 pages. I like you, Edward. You smell good, Bella. I'm dangerous. I like you, Edward. Damn, you smell good. I like you, Edward. Also, I glow in sunlight. Next 50 pages. A vampire baseball game. Last 100 pages. Help me, Edward. I'm being chased. I'll save you. Help me, Edward. I'm scared. I'll save you. Oh, Edward. You smell good. 1/2 star for lack of quality and 1/2 star unintentionally hilarious. You know, staring at a wall for an hour would be more interesting than reading this book. I would not even wipe my ass with this book. For fear it, my ass, would get shittier. What a waste of trees and my time. Kill me for reading this book. I have a strong female character shelf on Goodreads. This book is sorely tempting me to create a weak female character shelf too. Top 10 reasons to avoid Twilight. The pathetic nature of Maya's men. Mormon morality is not conducive to interesting vampirism. Teenage girl angst from a 30-something middle-class soccer mom. The total lack of meaningful conflict. Romance novel prose. the unheroic, even laughable heroism of Bella Swan. Movie of the week dialogue. Edward's inexplicable love for Bella, the insufferability of Bella, and that the movie will be better than the book. This is one of the only times when I enjoy watching the films and enjoyed watching the films more than reading the book. That small part of me will forever be an 11-year-old child reading Twilight for the first time. Proceeded to go through a Wattpad AO3 phase at 12. I hope that this was an enjoyable video for you, because it was certainly interesting to make for me. I have learned today that, what have I learned? I've learned that Goodreads is an interesting place, sometimes entertaining, sometimes extremely confusing. Maybe it's inspired you to go read some 1-star reviews of your favourite books. And as always, leave a like, subscribe, comment down below. I'll see you next time. See ya!